Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And congratulations on making, yet again, it's a complicated movie. Yeah, it's got, but you know what it is most importantly, it's entertaining.
Dude, that was the idea. Like when Antoine and I set out to make this movie, Antoine Fuqua, we wanted it to be a thriller first.
Right.
And then underneath it is, I think, the undercurrent is about a lot of other things. But I think first and foremost, it should just terrify you.
It's the story of yourself playing a 911 operator, but you weren't originally that. You play a cop who has an issue on the force and basically gets demoted to this position.
Yes.
While disciplinary hearings are taking place.
Yes.
I think let's start with that part of the story, because I really enjoyed this, and I feel like I notice a theme in your movies, in that, like, recently you're playing characters who are heroes but unlikely heroes. You're playing people who are thrust into position. You're playing human beings, it almost feels like. It's not like an archetype of a hero. Do you do that on purpose?
I'm more interested in the moral idea of a human being, and that we all make mistakes. You know, I think that's an important idea, and I think
Right.
that if there's a safe space to communicate really complicated feelings, it's in front of a camera, you know, doing something that is pretend in a way. And I think that allows you to get closer to the truth and communicate something that would not normally be allowed to be said. So to me, it's not about the job someone does necessarily, or like the character. It's really the dilemma that they find themselves in. More so playing characters that find themselves in a place that would be very complex for any human being, but very human. So, yeah.
I mean, because you were making this film, if my timeline is correct, you were making this film in and around the time that the George Floyd protests were happening all over America, and people were having these complicated conversations around police. Did that affect you at all, seeing what was happening in America when you were making the movie?
I mean, beyond affected me. I mean, we had gotten the rights to make this movie before any of that, even though that has been going on for hundreds of years. You know, that was something that when came into. I mean, first of all, we wanted to make the movie when the pandemic hit. We thought, okay, this is a single character film. It's contained. You're in a room with this guy. It can be safe. We could shoot it in a short period of time. I told Antoine Fuqua when I sent him the script, I said we could shoot it in 5 days. We ended up shooting it in 11 days.
The whole movie?
The whole movie in 11 days. So all of that, it was all sort of set for that pandemic space. And I applaud the entire crew that was there making it, because we made it in October of 2020.
Right.
Then when George Floyd was killed, you know, it brought up a different question.
Right.
And I think we all believed that it was important to tell the story and continue to try and tell the story. Obviously, a number of people who were interested in it sort of moved away and didn't necessarily want to be a part of it. But I always feel like, you know, the important part of the story is that it's about mental health. And that's what Antoine always said. It was about showing how broken the system is and what we assume other people to be when we can only hear them and we can't see them.
Right.
And that was really important. And I also think the movie is a fantasy. You know, I don't want to give away, like, the end and things that happen.
Well, that's interesting. A fantasy in what it hopes the world will be?
Oh, yeah. I think that the sort of idea of
terrifying, but then...
yeah.
We won't give away anything,
well,
but terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, a fantasy in that I think you know, it's called The Guilty, right?
Right.
So it's pretty clear right there. But I think in the end, it's about saying, when you tell the truth, when we tell our own truth, whatever it is, no matter how large or small, we're helping cure a huge ill in all of us. And I think we may not be redeemed on this earth, but we are redeemed spiritually.
Oh, I like that a lot.
So to me, I think the consequences of everyone's actions in this film will be had. I mean, that will happen. But I think they will be freed. And that's very important.
When we go past the message, one thing I always look at with a movie like this, you know, whenever a movie's made in one place, I go, this is either going to be an amazing movie or a terrible, terrible movie. It's because there's no two ways, because you can't cheat. There's no special effects in like, you know, there's no explosions that can save you. There's no cast that can help, like, all right, the comedic effect. There's no, you know, it's just Jake Gyllenhaal on camera in one room. When you're doing that as Jake and you're working with Antoine on this, what do you think, like, how do you take us everywhere without going anywhere?
You have to trust in the audience's imagination. I mean, we live in a world where I feel like film and so many things, we thrown everything visually and the kitchen sink, you know, at us when we watch things, right? And part of the thrill of the telling of this was thinking, can we capture an audience's imagination? And if we can, then we've succeeded, you know? Because I've talked to people who've seen the movie and they go, well, the scene where this happens and she does this and they're there and you're like, you were never there.
That's amazing.
So to use the medium in different ways is what's thrilling at a certain point.
Before I let you go, I would love to know what Jake is looking for in the next story that he tells. Like, you know, Southpaw, Nightcrawler, still one of my favorite movies of all time. Like The Guilty. You're not just telling a story of a flawed character. You're not just telling a story that's gripping and entertaining. It also feels like you're trying to tell us something about like our brains, our minds, our mental health as people. Is that coincidence, or is there something that you wish we could work on more as human beings? Is there something that, you know, as society, you go as Jake, you're like, man, guys, can we look at this thing a little bit more? Because it always feels like there's a message in the people, like they're struggling with something.
First of all, I would just like to say that it's what makes you so special. You're amazing at this job, and you're amazing, like your way your mind thinks and looks at things and looks at people. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you.
First and foremost, I do think there's something really interesting about our own mental health. I do think it's really interesting to explore characters who are on the verge of that. But I also think now I'm moving towards wanting to have a little bit more fun.
Okay.
Because I think probably I've gone through a period of time where I've taken myself super seriously and that idea, and then I sort of have left joy at the door. And I'm really interested in going in that direction a little bit.
Right.
So I mean that's a big part of mental health too.
It is. No, and you know what it is.
Yeah. So I think that is probably where I'm headed. I know that's where I want to go. So and you know I get joy in doing things like Nightcrawler and things. I mean it's so fun. But that's all about just great dialogue. Right. That's what I'm going after. So, yeah, joy.
Well, my friend, you bring us joy. Congratulations on another amazing film. Don't forget, people, The Guilty is in select theaters right now and will be available on Netflix October 1st.